In this episode of Walking Tours, I will explore how you can transfer between Marina Bay and downtown MRT stations. On the MRT, the quickest route between Marina Bay and downtown stations would be to take the Circle Line to Bayfront and then the Downtown Line to downtown, over at least 4 minutes and an adult fare of up to 95 cents. Such a transfer option would probably be preferable to walking, given the presence of air conditioning the whole way through, as transferring at Bayfront is rather easy, due to its stacked cross-platform configuration. Nevertheless, I am here today to critique this transferring experience by walking between these two stations. After about 1 minute, I've traveled between the North-South Line platform to the fare gates leading us to Exit B, and thus, the transfer timer starts. The walking route I'm taking today will not be an underground linkway. Rather, it will follow major roads outdoors. On the MRT walking map, it was mentioned that the journey from Marina Bay to downtown would take 4 minutes. This is not quite believable, but given that the stations are only about 2 city blocks apart, I will try to walk fast and see whether I can make it work. Here, the air conditioning weakens rather quickly as we go up on the escalator, leading us to broad daylight, into a grass field next to Marina One. There is some rather serious forward planning action here, given that even after 30 years of operations, the area around Marina Bay MRT station is still rather empty. The only walkable route out here would be to follow this covered shelter, which will lead me to the traffic intersection of Central Boulevard and Marina Way. So that would be the path I am taking. While I am on my way there, check out this desired path made by people, a muddy shortcut to Marina One. Not too long ago, a TikTok video stirred an online sensation which led to the authorities removing the barrier for people to walk through. I hope this pathway will eventually be made an actual walkway, improving walkability for all the office workers in the vicinity. The alternative walkable route would result in a 2 minutes detour, an unacceptably long time in the central business district. Here, I have reached the traffic light. Be sure to press the button to get the green light to appear, and then wait. For a typical traffic light in Singapore, a pedestrian can expect to wait up to 2 minutes before the traffic lights turn in his or her favor. That is not an insignificant amount of time, and it does add up within this walking transfer. After all, we have to make this walking transfer in 15 minutes or less. Otherwise, the distance fares will be reset to that of a new trip, rather than a continuation of the previous trip, resulting in more expensive travel fares. I now have the right of way and can finally cross the road. Now, this is where the sheltered walkway ends, which makes this walking transfer in particular not very appealing. For a distance of 1 city block, which is almost 200 meters, this plain little walkway is what I have to work with. Not many people walk here, so at least it will rarely be crowded. Still, if it is sunny, it will get very hot here, with a temperature of 32 degrees Celsius during the day. If you are foreign to this land, that may not seem very high, but when you combine that with the high humidity of this tropical island, you'll find yourself sweating a lot, resulting in an apparent temperature that feels more like 40 degrees. If it is raining, you will need an umbrella or you will be drenched. If it is at night, the trees and shrubs may block light from the lamppost, making walking hazards like snails invisible until it is too late. While there are plans for underground malls throughout the entirety of Marina Bay, making such a trip in the outdoors unnecessary, I'm still living in the year 2022, so this will be the best option commuters will have for now. The state land on my left is still relatively undeveloped when compared to the skyscrapers directly adjacent to it. Yet, it is also within the heart of downtown Singapore, making it prime land for a lot of activities. You may regularly see people having fun, being active with various sports on this plot of land. Others may opt for a more chill picnic. I have now reached the second intersection, this time between Central Boulevard and Straits View. The roads here are extremely wide and one-way in nature, so I would not recommend you to jaywalk, especially on weekdays, where traffic can be quite a mess here within the downtown. Do remember to press the crosswalk button, or the pedestrian traffic light will not be in your favor for a long time. Now, you may be wondering, given the rather unpleasant transfer experience, on why such a walking transfer would be useful at all. Honestly, in typical circumstances, it is not. 6 minutes have passed and I'm still walking despite the relatively short distance between the stations due to the long traffic cycle durations of the two traffic lights earlier. The amount of time for traffic lights at an intersection to complete a set of various signals. However, in the event of train breakdowns, where you may want to get between one station to another for an alternative commute to work or home, this video may be useful. Anyways, I've reached exit E of Downtown Station, on the Downtown Line in downtown Singapore. With such a generic sounding name, you may think that it is the central station of Singapore, where all lines converge into one massive transportation hub. In reality, it is just an ordinary station with merely medium capacity trains. While many other countries have cities with these central stations, there's just a sophisticated web of lines in Singapore, with some stations larger than others. What do you think is the central station of Singapore? I'm guessing that it is Marina Bay. Tell me in the comment sections below. Finally, after brisk walking for just over 7.5 minutes, I've reached the fare gates of Downtown Station, well exceeding the 4 minutes required by transferring at Bayfront, though that duration does not account for waiting times for the next train. Unless you are looking to clock more footsteps, this transfer is probably not worth it, given the lack of time savings. Except during a train breakdown, of course. With that, we have come to the end of this episode of Walking Tours. This is Transit Evolution, signing off.